think next we're going to answer some legal questions.
All right, so legal questions, names and facts have all been changed to protect confidentiality. These are things we've received in our law practice, requests that we've taken.
Yeah.
Some of them are supposed to be funny.
So the first one
Um,
we have Drake from Wichita Falls is in jail, and he needs to set up a trust ASAP because he needs to pay restitution in excess of $500,000.
okay, so we've got jail now,
Jail mail, exactly.
jail call. And sometimes our firm, I feel sorry for them, right?
Yeah.
Because they're in prison, they've got nothing better to do. Sometimes they send letters and it's got like their prison number on it and it
Yep.
comes to the firm and it's handwritten and it's like, hey, I need help. And sometimes they really do need help.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time they don't have money and you can never really contact someone in prison easily. But
Sure.
anyway, so we've got a jailbird, calling in and he needs some help. And he says, all right, I have been ordered. He's done something bad. We don't know what he's done. But he says, I've been ordered to pay some huge sum in restitution. And what restitution is, you committed a crime. It was so bad. You probably stole a bunch of money. No one will ever recover. The judge is going to sign an order saying you have restitution of 500 grand or whatever,
Yep.
$1 million. And this guy's brilliant idea, not that he has the 500 grand, is to create a trust to protect himself from the people he defrauded or cheated or stole money from getting their restitution. That's who's calling us.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Just now that we're clear on that,
And
I'm
then
happy
felt
we're there.
to say I want to do that when I'm in jail in the future.
Right.
Why can't I do that? What's the problem?
Oh, you can, but we have something called UFTA, Uniform Fraudulent Transfers Act in Texas. And you can't, once you have, and I'm not sure UFTA is applied to civil stuff, but it probably is also applied to criminal restitution. You cannot use trusts or vehicles to evade your creditors,
No.
right? That's all going to be, if you put those in protected assets, the civil courts in Texas are going to unwind all that. We get a lot of calls from people, hey, I just got sued and I'm running from this lawsuit and I've owned 3 investment properties. Throw them in a trust for me, throw them in LLC. And you got to tell them, it's not going to do any good. They're just going to file, the attorney's going to chase you down, follow the title trail and say, hey, judge, this guy put it in a protected trust or asset to evade the creditors, so unwind it. And the judge is going to unwind
Yep.
it.
Yep. So, unfortunately, Drake,
No.
we can't help you out with your trust there.
No. What do we have next?
Okay, so Jane from Houston called us and wanted to talk about a possible breach of contract claim. So Jane went to law school somewhere in Texas. We won't name the law school. And
Probably.
and so in Texas, for a little context, if you're taking the state bar to try to practice as a lawyer, if you take it 5 times and you fail it 5 times in a row, you are barred from taking the bar again. Okay. Anyways, so Jane took the bar 5 times, failed it, and now her idea to fix this solution is to sue her law school for breach of contract.
All right, what are the elements of breach of contract in Texas?
You need a contract to exist is the first one.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
What's next?
Okay, and then there needs to be performance by the person bringing the suit, so the plaintiff.
Okay, she paid the tuition. She went to school. She took the finals. Alleged.
And so actually, even if she didn't actually attend the classes, right? In some cases, there could still be performance as long as she paid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think there's a law that says some law you have to attend 80% of your classes. There's some percentage.
Sure,
but
sure. We're on a roll.
Jane has a good case.
Thus far, Jane has a good case. Okay, and then there needs to be
Yes.
breach by the defendant.
I don't like that one. You ever do like a SWOT analysis? Like strength and weaknesses and something else?
Yep.
This is a weakness of the case.
This is a slight weakness of the case. So what would be the
Because-
breach of the University of Texas here?
The breach is that Texas promised her that she was going to pass the bar.
Really? They did?
No. So yeah, we're missing a critical element. If you're going to become a doctor or a lawyer or a pilot, right? I don't think your school is promising you that you're going to pass the licensing credential.
Yeah.
That's not part of the deal. Okay, so just for our listeners, all right, what's the final element of our breach of contract?
Yes, there have to be damages.
She has damages.
She does
by
have
the way.
damages.
But this isn't horseshoes or hand grenades. So you got to have all elements. In the law, you have to have all elements satisfied in order to prevail.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
oh,
segue
this is
into
a
the
favorite.
next one. And we were
Yeah,
talking
this is my
about
favorite.
estate planning. So when
Yeah.
someone has passed away, we will have
Yeah.
a potential client talk to us and say, the first thing they say is, "Hi, I'm my mom's executioner." And
Oh.
yes,
Okay, so they call you and you're like, hey, what do they mean? What do they mean to say?
they don't mean that they killed their parent. What they're trying to say is
Oh,
the executor. They're trying to say that they were their mother's executor,
all of that.
sadly. Yep.
And most people calling us saying they're their mom's executioner really mean they're their mom's executor.
Executor, that's right.
Which, if you're in another state listening to this, by the way, those other states you call them personal representatives. So you're the executor in the will. You're the personal representative. You're not the executioner.
We hope not. Yeah.
We've got a couple. Do we have some other ones? We're supposed to have a serious one.
The last thing we wanted to cover really briefly is if you are trying to purchase a property with someone who is not your spouse.
Okay, we get all these calls at the law firm, and they're usually like, hey, I've got a boyfriend. We're buying a house together. We need to do some sort of agreement. And the first words out of your mouth are what?
The first words out of my mouth would be, "Do not
Yeah,
do
when don't do
Don't
it.
do that."
Run. Don't do it. You're far too young.
Exactly.
Okay. So you don't buy a house with significant other. Don't buy a house with boyfriend, girlfriend. But look, we can't convince them.
No.
We say, hey, don't do it. We're an honest law firm, right? We don't want your money that bad. Don't do that. We're trying to give you the right advice. But then they're just like, oh, Austin, I need to do it. My boyfriend, we're in love. We're never going to break up. Let's buy that house together. And Austin's, look, I'll take your money. All right, the firm will take your money, but we told you not to do it.
Yes.
All right, fine. So what do? We draft a joint venture agreement.
We draft a
partnership
joint venture agreement
right?
or partnership agreement that states the terms of this agreement that they're entering into, is saying we're purchasing this house. It's 50-50 ownership, something like that.
And we put a lot of eventualities. Yep. Hey, what happens when you break up? What happens when he cheats on you? Who pays the expenses? Where are you going to live while he's cheating on you and or why she's cheating on you? And they're bringing their significant other in the house that you own together, right? And we put all those things in there. Yeah. We get that one a lot. And frankly, we do too many of those agreements for people who are madly in love with each other, that are not getting married, that believe they'll never part ways.
That's true.